Welcome back to HitPointsGaming. We are doing a review today on Apocrypha, or I think it's Apocrypha. It's written by Nick Patrick Spear and Lisa Finch. This is a puzzle book with a really cool story, a dystopian kind of story, sci-fi story, where we are trying to find a treasure, a real treasure, which is really cool. This is our first book, so my wife and I are doing these puzzle books. They reached out to us, the creators of the book reached out to us and said, hey, would we be interested in checking this out? So I'm gonna say, yeah, sure, why not? Let's try it, because we've been getting into the puzzle books as we've done a couple reviews already. So they sent us this, and we've been getting into it. It starts off with a really cool story. It's I don't know how many pages it is, doesn't actually say, but it's quite a few. It is a book. If you just want to read something really cool about sci-fi, it does start, the story itself is not real, but it's fiction, but it takes place in something that you could say is real, which is kind of cool. It takes place here on Earth, kind of in our history, and moves forward and progresses. We have been able to solve a very few puzzles in this, so that's kind of cool. However, the story is legit. It's very well written. It feels as if an author wrote this book and then went back and tried to make it a puzzle book or a treasure hunting book. So it's written very well. If you just were looking for a cool story, this could satisfy that need. In addition to the extra fact of trying to find treasure. With this, they do call it an armchair treasure hunt book, meaning you are sitting in your chair reading this book and solving puzzles and riddles and other things to try to figure out where this real treasure is hidden. And along the way, you're trying to find different spots and points geographically using your knowledge, or we've been using Google Maps, thank goodness. So this it does require some, if you're going to sit down and try to solve some puzzles, it does require me to sit at the computer and try to look things up, and that's fun, but it's much different than other puzzle books that we've done before. This is just like a different level. Whereas the puzzle books, what we've done before, have a puzzle where you can each page is a puzzle, and it's a different puzzle. Whereas this is a continuation. Each puzzle's different, but it does continue on further so that you're trying to get to the location of this cool treasure, the core. The puzzles so far have been pretty hard, and another thing with this book too is, obviously since you are trying to find a real treasure, there's no answer book. So the other puzzles we've done, it's like you get stuck or you need to go look, or hey, do we really get this right? You can go look and check. This you can't, but this is different because there is an online community. So they have a Facebook group and a Twitter page. So you can go on. The Facebook group looks pretty active. There's over 100 and something users that are posting there. Hey, do you think this is right? I deciphered this code. Does this look good? So that's kind of cool too. So you're not really alone in this. Everyone's trying to solve the puzzle for themselves, but also trying to work together to try to figure it out, because maybe you'll help me with the third puzzle, and I'll help you with the fourth, but with the fifth puzzle, I don't want you to get it yet either, so that's kind of cool too. So that's pretty cool. The pictures in this, the art, it is kind of neat too. So they have different kinds of art. There's, well, not different kinds, but they have different, throughout the book, it is a lot of text, so it is a real book, really. But they do have some of these pages where they're illustrations. And one of the things, I will give you a hint right here. So some of the illustrations, like when you're looking at this, look for things that kind of stand out. If you are familiar with 80s or 90s cartoons, you know how like the background looks fine, but like this one guy back here just looks a little different than the background, and they actually go and touch this. Like, I think the same could be said for this. So you'll see like everything looks everything's hand drawn, but you'll see something just kind of sticks out a little bit. And you're like, oh, okay, I got to work with that. I got to do something with that. So just a little hint. That's really cool. All right, so let's get into why do you want to do this? Well, it's probably fun. The story is really cool. but you also have a little bit of treasure here. So there are rules that you need to follow. And they're explained in the back of the book. And I'll tell you, in every kind of like puzzle book, you kind of go to the end because there's some cool stuff at the back, especially in here too. So it kind of tells you some hints in the back here too, of some classified information. And I'll get a little closer pictures to this so you can kind of see the detail of artwork as well. But there is a guideline. There are rules that you must follow in order to actually receive the treasure. They want to make sure that you really did the work. So you have to provide them the location, how you got there, some keywords, and then you're going to send those 3 things into them through an email. And then they're going to respond back to you with like a little, "Are you sure?" And they're going to hit you with like a little question, it says here. And then it says it should be easy for you to solve. And they'll be like, "Oh, cool, you are the person to find the treasure." So hidden within the pages of Apocrypha lay the last transmission of Otto von Stern before his passing. Blah, 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 blah. The hunt takes place in the continental USA. Once found, the solver will receive the core, a $1,000 value, as well as a $3,000 cash prize. One does not need to travel to the location as it is a virtual burial site of the core. The means to contact the authors with the final answer is also embedded within Apocrypha. Once we are contacted, you are required to present all of the following, which I just stated. So the core is part of the story in this. So you've got to kind of figure out what the core is, and that's part of it. But that's what you'll get because you're going to find it. Yeah. So this is our first one. This is if you are really looking to get deep into a treasure hunting book, or maybe you don't want to be the first person to solve it, but you want to be able to say, "Hey, I did a treasure hunt book." I would recommend this. This is only our first one, so I do want to say that it is our only first one. The story is very well written. The puzzles are difficult. They're a little more difficult than what we're used to, but that is fun. So like sometimes we'll spend like a Saturday for a couple, like 2 hours, and we'll sit down and try to solve the next puzzle. We'll read the book out loud to each other and sit down. And it's a fun hangout. Let's sit at the fire, or let's just hang out and kind of think about this. It's fun for that. Or if you're really looking to be the first person to solve this and to get your $4,000 approximate cash prize, prizes, you could probably just jump into this, read the book really quick, and try to go online, try to do this, and try to find that prize. I just checked the Facebook before this posting of the video. I don't think anybody has solved it. People are still looking for, trying to figure out some of the puzzles. So I don't think anyone has solved it just yet. So the book's been out for a few weeks now. So you got some time. And I think it's going to be a while too, because you could read all the way through this without trying to do any of the puzzle. But you kind of want to read it, figure out the puzzle, read on. You might have to come back to some of the puzzles. We did that too, where we kind of got stuck with the first one. And then we read a little bit further, and it maybe just it jogged our memory, or it just kind of loosened us up, set us into this like free state of thinking that we're like, there's the first one, So anyway, Apocrypha, I think it's how it's said. Very cool story. If you're interested in treasure hunting,